Hello, and today we're going to add the Nether to the intermediate 2D Minecraft game. But first, I'm just going to apologise for the absence of videos in the last month. For those who are waiting for the tile scrolling at Minecraft game, I apologise very much so. The reason why the next video hasn't come out on that yet is because there have been a lot of issues with the tutorials I've been making for that game. That tutorial, it's kind of going wrong severely in places regarding the entities that are being added with never mind that. But so now let's go on with this video. To start off, we're going to make a new block called initiate Nether. This will be run without screen refresh. Move that down and put initiate Nether below initiate world. Duplicate everything that's in the initiate world sprite and put it into initiate Nether rather. Now create a new list which is going to be called dimensions. So now we're going to add actually forget about that list for now. Let's create a new list called overworld. Nope. Right click on overworld there and rename it to current world. And now create a new list called overworld. Now swap out everything that's in current world for... Actually, let's do this a different way. But so first we do actually need to create the Netherrack sprite, which and also the quartz ore. To do this, we'll just create it, draw it in the costumes tab, and make sure it's the same size. That'll be my Netherrack sprite. And now we're going to also create a quartz ore. And that will do for now. Okay, so now we're going to get rid of the biome sprite here. Also create a list called Nether. We'll come back to that. We're going to add 19 to world here, and we're going to get rid of the biome scripts and everything underneath. I'm going to just check if biome is 1 for now, but we're just going to get rid of it as we don't need it yet. And now we should see that the Nether is the world that loads. But we also need to make sure that this script here, the repeat until count is equal to 14, remains in place. And now we have the Nether generating, but only the bottom part of it here. And it thinks it's a desert biome. So, now we can add things like the warped grass type stuff. Not exactly what it's called. Maybe warped Nylium or something. I think that might be called that. But that doesn't matter for now. We'll just create a sprite. Yeah, that'll do. Let's make sure it kind of syncs up. That'll do. Now we're going to create a warped Nylium, which will be blue. Or I think it's that, but don't quote me on that. Let's call it crimson glass here. Well, because I'm not sure of the exact name. Okay, now we're going to check what the biome is. If biome is equal to 1, we're going to add 20 to the world, and if it's equal to 2, it's going to add, well, 21. So if biome is equal to 1, it's going to check, well, it's going to do that, and if it's 2, it's going to do that. Okay, now that should work. Let's set biome to pick random 1 to 2. That's good. Okay. We're going to, instead of adding 1 to world, we're going to add 19 to world again. And we're also going to repeat 5 times, add 0, 0, 0, 1 to world. That will create the kind of Nether effect that is normal of that dimension. But, well, the gravity at the moment won't work properly. So we have to have it spawn around the centre of the world, not in the middle. But that would also probably cause it to go slightly wrong, so let's just also increase the size of this for now. But let's say 10, maybe, I don't know. That's going to break everything, of course. Let's just make sure if not counter is more than 13. I mean, if you go low down enough, it will spawn Netherrack. So let's just say 7. And now we're at 8, maybe? 9, I think, might be the best. I'm going to change the values of smooth random here to 15 and 3. Nah, well, yeah, that's fine now. It gives a kind of effect of a Nether seeding, but well, we can't get that block there as well. Remember that we need entities to spawn as well, and also the inventory. So we'll have to make do with that for the Nether. Okay, so now we're going to make it so you can switch between the 2 dimensions. Yeah, I think that's fine, really. Okay, so now we're going to create a new block called switch dimension to overworld, or save overworld. One without screen refresh, and it will repeat the length of the overworld, well, current world, and add item, let's say counter. Have we got a counter there? That's for this fight only, but I don't trust it. Let's just make counter 1 for now. For this fight only again. Set counter 1 to 0, and then change counter 1 by 1 every time before you do that. Then we're going to check what counter 1 is and add that to overworld, and we'll delete all of overworld before we start that. And at the end, before we do initiate Nether, we'll save overworld. Wait 0.1 seconds. Just to make sure there's time in between it. Wait, what? No. 0.1, not 9.1. Now let's check that there's blocks in the overworld. 280, 280. And now we'll create the same script again, practically, for, actually, let's just make a block called save dimension. And add a input, which says type. So just remember to right click and then press edit in order to do that. Okay, so now we're going to check whether dimension is what is N or D. O. If it's O, we're going to do well, add it to the overworld. If it's N, we're going to add it to the Nether. And we'll make sure that we don't delete overworld if that's the one that's currently being selected. Well, we only do that if it's the one that we are selecting, and if we're selecting the Nether, we don't want to do that. We want to get rid of the Nether. Okay, now put save dimension Nether in here. So N there. And now we're going to create a new block called load dimension. And then dimension as an input. Now we're going to run that as one without screen refresh. And we're going to duplicate this. We're going to delete all of current world, not the previous thing that we were using before. We're going to save dimension, well, current dimension, which will be a new variable that we create for all sprites. And we'll set current dimension at the end of this to dimension. So we'll delete all of current world after we run save dimension. And then we'll add to current world from the overworld. Well, if it it's N. No, if it's O. Then we'll add to the current world from the Nether if it's N. Now let's test whether this works. So now we're going to load dimension O. Of which that did not work. Okay, maybe that's because we'll need to have this not as screen refresh, unfortunately, and have a bit of delay here between those two scripts. Yeah, I don't think the overworld exists anymore. Okay, what is an overworld? Nothing. Still nothing there, but current world, or still it's there, but current world is now empty. Okay, it does delete all of but in length of overworld, as the lengths are the same normally. Now there is still nothing, and that's now empty. That is not empty yet. That might take a while. Nope, still broken. Okay, so it should be added. Wait. Well, overworld still seems to be full up. Oh, well. Anything about current world there that might be broken. Well, it's saving current dimension, which is overworld. It never works the second time, does it? It never works the first time either, so there's obviously something going a bit crazy now. Yeah, it's still completely broken. It's not adding anything at all. Okay, is that... Yeah, okay, that's currently the current dimension, so we need to set current dimension back to N if we want to test it again. Why is it taking so long if it isn't adding anything? What is counter? 280, so what's item 280 of overworld? That, which is a bit strange looking and it's broken, but we'll ignore that for now. Okay, yeah, what's going on here? Well, there is obviously stuff in the overworld, unless we're not saving it correctly, but that shouldn't be the case. No, it seems to be fine. Could it be the save dimension script somehow doing it? Yes, it is. Okay, let's put in if else save dimension. Wait, wouldn't it just... No. Okay. Oh, that shouldn't really do anything. Okay, let's just put in current dimensions not saving it as a number or anything different to what it would normally be. Why is it not adding anything? What if we just put that there? It should work then. Nope, nope, nope. Okay, what's going on here? Huh. Okay, well, this is odd. It seems to be, well, turning the overworld into the Nether, which is not what we want. It should automatically set... Yeah, it's not, is it? Let's just set dimension to N at the moment, and then low dimension O. Still broken, but, well, it isn't the Nether, at least. Yeah. We have put that in correctly, right? Yeah. Okay, there shouldn't be any reason why it's not loading it, really, I think. It is adding things. Okay. Item 1 of overworld is... Wait, how is counter 1 being set to that? Oh yes, of course you need to set it to 0 after that, not before. Okay, that should now work. As has been proven, but it did mess up the overworld again. Now we're going to set dimension to N here, and we're going to set dimension to O before that, and then we're going to low dimension O before we set generation to finished. Okay, we'll set down, and now it should hopefully, in theory, work. After we duplicate that again, set dimension back to O before we do that, otherwise it's going to end up resetting back to the Nether as the overworld, which would cause many issues to be... yeah, maybe if it is set to without screen refresh now it would work. Still, maybe. Now it's still messing up. Oh yeah, we do want it to be N there. Yeah. Okay. Now should work. Yep. You just see a brief flash of the Nether there. But after that it works fine. And now if we load dimension N, it's going to wait. Okay. Well, this never was going to work. Oh, of course, yeah, it's that again. Oh, not again. It is setting it to O low, so why is this happening? Wait, what type? We don't want type, we want dimension. As for the other script, of course, that won't work. Okay, yep. Now it should work. Though, as you can see, the biomes have been messed up quite severely. Let's just add a new variable called biome Nether. Well, rename the original one to biome overworld. and create a new one called Biome Nether. Okay, now we're going to go back to the initiate Nether script, and we're going to set Biome Nether to that, and not Biome Overworld, as that would cause many issues. And we're now going to add 2 new variables, Biome Nether. Well, no, not going to add any variables. I mean, we're going to switch to the new backdrops for the Nether. This will be the general Nether backdrop for the normal biome, and for the warped biome, it's going to be dark blue. So if dimension is equal to O, it's going to display the normal biomes, but if it's equal to N, it's going to display the new biomes. They'll not be N. Okay, so now we're going to load dimension N for one more time, and that looks like there's no contrast at all. Let's make that a bit darker. That's better. Load dimension N again. Keep on getting the same biome, of course. Okay, now it seems to be working. Though those aren't updated with the costumes, so those won't work for a while. We'll do that in the next episode. But for now, we've got the Nether dimensions implemented into the game. If you want to test them out with controls, you could just create a script in like the stage. No, not in the stage, that'd be ridiculous. Just add a forever if block at the end of the generate script, and if let's say O is pressed, it will set, well, it will generate, it will switch over to the overworld. So we're going to set that to 0 layer, and we'll then also well, if N is pressed, we'll set well, load dimension N. And I think I'm going to have to clean up this jumble of and mess of scripts quickly, as it's quite horrific. And now that should look a lot nicer. Here's that script I was just doing. So now you can switch between them just by pressing O or N. And for now, the enemies won't spawn specifically for the biomes, and we haven't added collisions for these specific new biomes, so it's not going to work properly like that for now. But we have successfully added the Nether to this game. All that remains now is to create portals and then add ores to all dimensions in the game. Also, I'm not going to show you how to do this, but you can actually add all sorts of entities and enemies into the game using similar methods to the ones we're using in Sprite 4 and Sprite 5. If you duplicate Sprite 4 and recolor it, it will work just fine. So if you wanted a blue version of a blue passive mon kind of anything, it will work just as the red one was working. And you can actually animate them if you just go into this and then, well, move it about a bit and make it change costume when it moves about. Like this. This will look horrible for now, but you can actually make a kind of thing that walks about like a pig. That's my challenge for you once this tutorial is done. As you can see, it's kind of jiggling a bit when it moves about. That's because it's actually animating, but, well, I haven't given it any particularly nice animations. So if I change the colour, you can see that it will constantly change colour when they're moving. And that is kind of how you add animations to this game. And for now, I'm just going to leave that blue sprite in here. Let's call it like a sheep, and the red sprite can be a pig. And this can be a zombie. Okay, and also in future, I will add nighttime to the game, and that is going to be when zombies spawn, not just when, well, actually let's call them, yeah, zombies. Not in the daytime, and during the daytime you can make it so the zombies will despawn and, well, catch a light. And that is all we have time for today, so bye.